So it's May, my opinion really one of the best months of the year. One of the reasons being that the days are getting longer, the weather's getting better, but also there are more birds breeding, and that includes more rare breeding birds. Our resident species are getting down to nesting in greater numbers, and migrant species are returning to breed in the UK more every day. Now, as we move through May, it does mean that some species are actually getting harder to find, so the likes of lesser spotted woodpeckers, for example, become very inobtrusive, very difficult to find as we move into the late spring. But now is the time to return to places where we might have found lesser spotted woodpeckers or goshawks or other early breeders earlier in the spring. Return to them to see if we can confirm breeding, we can improve the evidence of breeding we got previously. So if there was a singing male, try and find a pair. If there's a pair or something, look for activity that might suggest they're nesting. Of course, be careful not to disturb breeding birds when we're doing so. Don't go wandering around woodland looking for a goshawk nest, or go tramping across heathlands trying to find a woodlark nest. For other rare breeding birds, spring is only really just beginning. So we've had weeks of predominantly northerly winds, but now they've swung around. Common migrant species are pouring into the UK, and with them some of the rarer breeders. This includes exciting Mediterranean overshoots, rare herons, crakes, stilts for example, which might breed and you might be lucky enough to find. If you do so, think carefully before you share news. Is it safe and sensible to share news of a potential breeding location for such rarities? But it's not just about great rarities. Scarce breeders such as quail, we found more or less throughout the UK, singing in arable and pastoral fields, turtle doves in southeast England, in scrub and hedgerows, dotterels on Scottish mountain tops. There's quite a list of migrant species returning and starting to breed at the moment that you should be looking for. On the subject of migration, most of our wintering birds have now left the UK for breeding grounds further north. So for some species, remaining individuals might be regarded as potential breeders. Good example, the scarce breeding ducks, shoveler, widgeon, pochard. If you see individuals of these species in May, you should submit those records. If they're in potential breeding habitat, even if there's no further evidence of breeding, it's worth submitting. Please, when you do so, include all the relevant information, such as sex of birds. There's nothing more frustrating than getting records of, 7 shovelers, for example, without any idea whether they were all males, whether they were all females, or there was a mix of birds and possibly some obvious pairs amongst them. So please include that information when you submit records. Help us out with that. So, there are scarce and rare breeding birds of interest at the RBBP to be found in virtually every habitat in all parts of the UK at this time of year. So please get out there. Include looking for, recording and reporting rare breeding birds part of your normal birding routine. Help us and increase your own enjoyment of your hobby. Submit records with the relevant detail to the County Bird Recorder, either directly or via a portal such as BirdTrack or eBird. Don't presume that someone else has seen or heard the birds that you have and submitted the records. Do it yourself. So please help us out, have fun, enjoy the spring. Thanks.